All right, I am back with another video covering the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct today. It was an hour-long showcase about some of the functionality of the Switch, along with the first look at a number of games coming to Switch 2 when it releases in June 5th, 2025. So that is just 2 months away. That was announced like randomly in the middle of the show, not at the end or anything. They weren't saving that for the end. Very soon, very close. I don't believe pre-orders are open. You can like register for information about when pre-orders open or something, but you can't pre-order it now. There were a number of things that kind of ended up being this weird split between that was a super hype showcase and then like what is Nintendo doing, as we learned a few more details after this. So the showcase itself was very cool. They showed off Mario Kart World, which I don't know if people know this, but Mario Kart is far and away the biggest series on, at least recently, on Nintendo consoles. The Switch, it was 67 million sales compared to, I think, number 2 was Animal Crossing, New Horizons with 47. Breath of the Wild is like only 32. You know, that's still a ton, but Mario Kart is huge, so we probably just saw the debut of what will be the biggest game on this console. I don't really see what else would beat it, given the kind of history of these other series. It looks cool. It's an open world-ish Mario Kart game, which is certainly new. It echoes a lot of, you know, the more mainline racing games, your Forzas and things like that, where you can kind of go all over the map. This has a lot of different uses for that. Like you can drive across the map between competitions. You can drive all over the map in kind of a rally elimination race. And there are 24 racers, which is the most the series has ever had. We got a little bit of a glimpse of some of the new items and stuff. And there's still things like motorcycles, and there's, you know, Bullet Bill. You get like hats for power-ups. You can grind on rails. You can wall jump, all of this stuff. And it looks like a really neat addition to the series that it has needed for many years now. And it's clear that's going to be a really big hit. Some interesting announcements. They just randomly announced Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong. I think it was during a glitched part of the stream where you could barely even see it. It was just like, this game's coming to Nintendo Switch 2. And they just dropped it in like a montage. And people were like, wait, what? what happened there? The other thing is that the Switch 2 can now play a lot of bigger mainstream games that are coming to, you know, current consoles. They featured Borderlands 4. They featured Cyberpunk 2077, Hades 2, which is obviously a lot easier. But yeah, CDPR got Cyberpunk running on a Switch 2. So we don't know the exact power level of this. It's supposed to be like PS4 Pro-ish or something. And obviously, eventually, Cyberpunk ran on that. So we'll see how it goes, but you know, they are certainly going to get a lot more third-party games that aren't like horrible ports than they were last time. That said, the same thing will probably happen where, you know, the years will press on and it'll get more and more dated because it's, you know, it's never going for like crazy amounts of power. Another big announcement was an exclusive multiplayer new FromSoft game called Duskbloods, a vampire game. Pretty crazy. No one saw that coming. You know, we know that Elden Ring Night Reign is coming for other consoles, apparently not for Switch 2. And that is a multiplayer game based on the world of Elden Ring. This one, Duskbloods, is another multiplayer game. Everyone was like, it's Bloodborne 2. It's not Bloodborne 2, but I guess similar vibes. This is just something genuinely no one saw coming, given that it is online. Everyone is like sort of questionable about how that works with Switch, given that online was not exactly its strongest suit. But that was certainly a big surprise. Speaking of online, we got the I don't know what this was, but it's this like multi-streaming, you know, friend connection feature where you can play a game and then have your friends in little screens on the bottom with their screens, seeing their faces. In theory, that's kind of cool. In practice, the bit rate for that is like, it was like 10 FPS. It was so choppy. The green screen effect was like so pixelated. Some people may like the use case for that. I heard, you know, a couple people excited about that, but I don't know how that's better than just sort of Discord in some ways. I don't know. Maybe some people use that, but I don't think that came across terribly well in the stream. We also got the final announcement of the day was not a Mario game, the way some might think. It's a new Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, as the first real Donkey Kong game in a very, very long time. So I guess I understand why they closed with it. And it was a good showcase. Everyone was kind of freaking out about various announcements over the course of the show. It was a good mix of kind of hardware demonstrations. They had this, part of the fake Discord thing is they have a camera now, so they're going to be doing different functionality with that. The Joy-Cons now have kind of a mouse capability for certain games, so they did make some technical advancements past just making it more powerful. Then the showcase ended, and everyone was like, wait, they didn't announce the price? They didn't, but you go to the website, and then we quickly learned that the price is $450 for the normal system, and then it's $500 for a bundle that contains Mario Kart World. $450, I think most people were predicting $400, so this is $50 more than that, and it is $150 more than the $300 Switch, albeit that was 8 years ago, and I don't think anyone was really expecting this to launch at $300. $400 did seem, the most likely option, but hey, $450, okay, not amazing, and it's more than a PS5 and stuff, but I don't think people were freaking out about that too much, even if it was a little higher expected. People are now very much freaking out about the reveal right after that, which showed that Mario Kart World is going to be on sale for $80. So that is $10 more than the current $70 AAA price point, which went up at the beginning of this generation about 5 years ago, after $60 games being the standard. On top of the $80 price point, in other regions like Europe, they showed that the physical version of the game would be $10 more, 90 euros. So it stands to reason that in the US, it could be $90 for a physical version of the game. So that is moving from $70 to $80 to $90 for Mario Kart World. The weird thing about this, on top of this, is that the Donkey Kong game is listed for $70. So what this appears to be is some sort of idea that based on what the game is, you can charge a different price for it. We don't usually see this. Like AAA games are all pretty standard. Hi, Evie. Of the the $70 price across the board, but then you'll have smaller scale games, your Helldivers, it's like $40 or whatever. Some games are 50, some games are 20, but those are usually like smaller multiplayer games or more indie games, things like that. But within AAA blockbusters, you're not like, oh, well, God of War is $90, but Days Gone is 60. Like it doesn't really work like that. But opening this door, there's this kind of joke that, well, GTA 6 could charge $100 and, they'd still sell a billion copies. Well, maybe they'll do it. Like at this point, if Nintendo is kicking this door open, you could see like mass adoption of, I guess, $80 games. Because if they're like, well, if Nintendo can do it and everybody loves Nintendo, maybe we can. Or you could see this idea spread of kind of variable pricing of games. As I said, Mario Kart is Nintendo's flagship franchise in terms of sales, so they're like, well, if this is going to sell a bunch of copies regardless, maybe we squeeze an extra $10 to $20 out of everybody. This sucks. I mean, this totally sucks, especially in an age where the economy is not great. Globally to a certain extent, certainly in the US as of late. Some people are saying this has to do with recent tariffs. I don't think this has anything to do with tariffs. I think it's way too early to think that's the blame here. The idea is, well, inflation, and games cost so much now, but like you're putting that entire burden on consumers who have a lot less buying power than they used to, because guess what? Inflation affects consumers too, not just companies. So people don't have the money. I've seen people being like, this is such a turnoff, like I'm no longer excited about the Switch 2. Again, maybe this is like just Mario Kart, but if they have a new Mario game, a new Zelda game, is that going to be $90? Maybe this is sort of a trial balloon, and if everyone hates it, if it just totally bombs, maybe they don't do it again. But this is certainly a sour note to kind of end the otherwise really good stream on. And, I don't blame people for being totally turned off by this. I mean, I'm turned off by this. I kind of have to play all of this stuff, but you're really, really pushing your luck, I think, with that price point. So we'll see what the hell happens with that. This is 2 months away, so we're gonna, get this $80 to $90 price point unleashed then, and we'll see, if people are still really mad about it then, or if they're just gonna, begrudgingly accept it. There's a lot of anger right now, a lot of anger about that. So it's such a mixed bag here because, loads of people want to Switch 2, and that showcase looked really awesome. But if you're going to pick up the system and the biggest game for the system is going to be 80 to 90 bucks, you have no real indication of how many games to come will be 80 to $90. Because if they sell a lot, maybe they don't do the Donkey Kong thing at $70. Maybe they make all the games, all their first party games $80 to $90. Maybe the third party publishers be like, well, if people are going to pay this on Switch for Nintendo games, maybe we can charge $80 for Borderlands 4 or whatever. So it's a very strange situation. I think we'll get more clarity on it over time, but it's too much to launch. I don't think Nintendo's going to reverse course on this. I do not think this is some sort of mass typo. If it is, all of this is irrelevant, and hell, maybe I'll record a new video, but that is not the way it seems right now. So Switch 2, good games, good hardware as it seems, but high price and then really high price for games. So let me know what you think about, what you saw at the showcase and these price points. And we'll come up with a consensus, I guess, over the course of the next 2 months or when we finally get our hands on it to see if this is worth it. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.